contains pictures of the stuff that they're gonna remove too, so. What this would be, this agreement is, like I said, is for them to prepare the documents to take it out for bid.
That's the 3,700?
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Yep, yep. Yeah, because if you remember right, I believe we had, when we agreed to this agreement to prepare this, I believe there was an estimate at that council meeting of 200,000 or something like that was the estimate for removal of asbestos. So we'll see how close that is. And I do suggest, I mean, if there are materials, this is no different, the material on the roof on this one is no different than the material that was on the roof of the Charles Mott Library, and I believe maybe even Kind Science. It's layers, it's got tar and rocks and that type of stuff on it. And we removed that same type of material from Charles Mott Library at the time, and I can just remember standing in that building after it had been removed, and it was water coming through the roof. So yeah, so the roof's going to be compromised once this is removed, so it's only going to start to deteriorate inside. So
you'd advise not to put a new roof on it once we take it out?
No.
I don't know that the envelope is sealed as it is currently, isn't
Well,
there?
probably why it
Fair
may
number
not
of
be, I don't
openings, yeah.
The only thing I'm gonna ask is this list seems like it has more items on it than our last list. And maybe I'm wrong, because I don't have a copy of our last list. I'm talking years ago. It seems like where they're finding it has grown.
The one that Sitzman Real Estate
Yeah,
found?
yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to look at that one again. I don't know if
Maybe I'm wrong.
I think floor tiles are I'm sure are in there. I don't know about the fire door insulation stuff. I know there was ceiling texture in that other one, but I don't know if ceiling caulk was in that other one. Yeah, so there might be some differences.
And I noticed that this also says demolition can exceed a year if the DNR gives you permission. But
Yeah.
that ties into the whole leaky roof thing. So
Yeah, that is,
I get it.
yeah, the way that was explained is the year is not an issue as long as it doesn't change ownership. So if we maintain ownership of it
Right.
and we essentially no longer use the building, okay, then that would be a reason for them to look past the 1 year exceedance. So, but
Sounds like it's fun.
Motion to approve agreement with Eocene Environmental Group to provide bidding and contract documents for the removal of asbestos from Centennial Building.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Action item E4, CVB Advisory Board funding request. The Convention and Visitors Bureau Advisory Board received a request for funds from the LCS Music Boosters for a Bulldog Battle of the Bands event. The request is for $7,500 and was submitted after the grant deadline. The event will take place at the Lamarge Community Stadium. It is expected that this event will have 15 to 20 band entries, 600 to 800 students attending, as well as 1,500 to 2,000 spectators. The CBB Advisory Board is recommending council approval to fund the event at the requested $7,500. I do know that the date of the event was omitted from the application and proposal. And it's the same day as the band event that's happening at Olson Cultural Event Center, the bash. So
I'm sorry, yes,
September
20th.
20th.
Yeah.
So
And I remember from our discussion at the board meeting that this will obviously fill some beds with some heads. So I mean, it's
yeah.
kind of the whole fits right in with the CBD purpose, self-replenishing.
Having had kids in the band program for 20 years almost, and having gone to Starfest and MOC's marching band competition and Algona competitions, I would say that the 1,500 to 2,000 spectators is very light. I would fully expect there to be a lot more than that, to be perfectly honest. So this is another thing, because of what we've got in our community, we're going to be able to host and have, I think, a significant return. So it's clearly something I think that we should definitely support and approve.
Motion to approve the $7,500 request to assist the Bulldog Battle of the Bands event.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Discussion items. Jason?
All right, a couple things. If you didn't see it, shortly before this meeting, Scott Knipe sent out a notice about a First Street North, one block each way from Central Avenue. So that's going to get a new overlay on it. Starting April 25th, Barclay will be in to mill it, and then that's a Friday. And then the following week, they'll be back to put a new layer on there. So,
Is it the same time we're gonna do Greenwood Avenue?
yeah, and your driveway. And
I will.
What's the name of the contract?
Where's Clark?
Secondly, everybody sees what's going on at Foster. That's the storm sewer removal and replacement there. They should be done with that mid next week, probably. And then the water projects, well 15, if you haven't been out to that part of the town, the well contractor is on site drilling the well. That started last week. And equipment, job trailers and the such are on site at the water facility. So the RO project, that'll get started this week. So that's what I got, that's it.
Fifth Avenue, Old 75, we did a little bit late last fall. Anything on the schedule for cleaning up or fixing some of those cracked areas?
Yes, more to come. That will be a subject brought to council next council meeting.
Thank you.
But I guess to more directly answer your question, yes, we still do have a contractor that is still going to do some repairs to that.
Okay.
But a larger project I'll bring to council next council meeting.
All right. Thank you.
Is that all you had?
Yep.
Joe?
I guess I'll update you on our software that we're busy working on every day of the week, I feel like. We're currently trying to get payroll brought into the new system, so that should hopefully be done this week, and then be live in that new system with that. And the last piece is to bring all the utility going. So all that's supposed to be done by end of June.
Okay.
Still happy with the transition?
Yeah, it's
He's
a lot of work, but
elated.
He's elated.
yeah, it'll be good. It'll hopefully make things a lot easier and smoother. So.
Okay. Mark, do you have anything?
I'm good.
I'm good. I fielded a complaint from a citizen regarding our dog park, and reached out to our department head there. Not much can be done. We've got signage, we've got bags out there, but citizens who utilize the dog park are not picking up after the dogs. So please do so. It makes a mess of our mowers, and it also is hard for those that want to use the park after you're done. So please be considerate if you're using the dog park, pick up after your dog. So That's really all I have, other than a reminder of the spring cleanup, May 10th or May 12th through the 16th. And that is drop off of 1,000 pounds free of charge out at the landfill, but does not include appliances or electronics, I think. So, clerk.
Couple things. If we're looking at putting fire station on the ballot, I'm assuming the very same deadline is required for hotel motel. I want that. I am 100% wanting that on. So if we need to be doing paperwork on that, I want that issue on there too.
I agree.
That would be a little,
Yeah.
that'll be a quicker process because there's not plans involved.
Not bonding.
Right,
Right,
okay.
so it'll be a little quicker.
Well, I was just gonna, yeah, so July 15th council meeting, that's when I expect to bring you as a council the ballot language for your approval.
Okay.
So then from there, it can be taken to Stacy.
I just don't want to drop that, because we talked about different things. And then, literally Wayne reminded me of this, but for the last few years, I've suggested that Lamar's, that wants to be a standout community in doing things, I have suggested multiple times that we be the only community in the area that does New Year's Eve fireworks. I know when I brought it up in the past, it has been a budget constraint. One of the reasons we don't have another $12,000 to do it. I would really like to look into doing that. I think it's something that either the chamber needs to pick up or the city needs. We pay for the fireworks right now out of our budget, the council's budget. So that's something that I would really like to see in the near future, is that this be the, because to my knowledge, there is not a community closer than New York or Brisbane, Australia, or wherever that doesn't. So that would be a kind of a cool deal. And then the last thing is, I would really like to see a twice a year citywide, and we can charge citywide TV, computer, possibly appliance dump day in the city parking lot. We charge for it, but we do just encourage citizens to do that, so that there isn't a bunch that can end up in just normal trash. Okay, so I'd like to see that. That's it.
It's a good concept.
I mean, it's an idea.
I think we've done, I think the city's done that in
Well,
the past.
we did it for a while.
Yeah.
But there was a company that came in out of
Yeah.
Nebraska, and twice a year, was it, Jason? They load up in the parking lot.
Yeah, I don't know if it was
Right.
twice a year.
But I think that company is now doing time in federal. But,
Out of Sioux City?
Well, there's other
No,
ones
no,
out
that's a
there.
different company.
but anyway, I'd like to see that service.
Clark, there is also a guy in Leeds that will take electronics, flat screens, computers, monitors, things like that. And I put it out there on Facebook. If anybody wants his number, they can just reach out to me, because I've dropped a few things off down there, and apparently he makes some money off it
In South Sioux.
in Leeds and Sioux City.
Oh, in Leeds.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, thanks.
Ryan.
I don't have anything to add.
Ryan.
With the success of our town hall meeting we had in January, are we gonna think about maybe quarterly? I think that was kind of where I left
I
it.
have eyeballed May as a date, and yep.
It's gonna be
Not
on
every
one
night.
I've been in talks with our fire chief, possibly hosting it there, if we're going to make this a ballot issue. If we can get a date that works for them, might be a good chance to showcase what we have and why we do or don't need a new fire station. So if it doesn't work, we'll definitely want to get the fire station on the third quarter. So, but hopefully we'll have a date in May. So,
Nothing else for me.
all right. I'll
Motion to
accept the
adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Meeting adjourned.